The air in the dojo didn't smell like honor. It smelled like bleach, old canvas, and the quiet desperation of 50 men holding their breath. They were about to watch a god bleed, and it was only going to take 5 seconds to shatter 30 years of sacred tradition. Caleb knelt on the unforgiving canvas, his left meniscus throbbing with a dull, familiar heat. The dojo was kept at a sweltering 80 degrees, a deliberate choice by Master Gregory Pierce to purify the spirit through the flesh. To Caleb, it mostly just made the room smell like sour ammonia, tiger balm, and unwashed cotton. He stared at the frayed stitching on the collar of the student kneeling in front of him, trying to ignore the sharp pain shooting up his thigh. Caleb was 29, but his joints felt like rusted door hinges. He had spent 10 years in this room, paying $200 a month to learn how to turn his body into a weapon. At the front of the room, Gregory Pierce paced. Pierce was a man built like a bank vault, thick and immovable. He wore a heavy bleached white uniform that cracked like a whip when he moved. His black belt was so old and worn, it was mostly frayed gray cotton, a visual testament to decades of alleged combat. Pierce didn't walk. He glided, his calloused feet dragging slightly against the mat with a rhythmic shh sound. In the corner of the room, a cheap plastic boombox was plugged into the wall, playing a recorded cassette tape of a local sports radio show from the day before. The volume was turned up just loud enough to cut through the heavy breathing of the 50 students. "The man is a dancer," Pierce's baritone voice echoed from the tiny speakers, coated in a layer of radio static. "A very athletic dancer, I will grant him that, but what Leon Hayes does on the silver screen is choreography. It is wire work and camera angles. Real martial arts, true combat, is rooted in the earth. It is physics. It is geometry. If Hayes ever stepped onto a real mat against a man who understands the structural integrity of a true stance, his little movie tricks would evaporate. He would be broken in half." The radio host chuckled, eating it up. "So you're saying the famous Street Fighter style is just Hollywood smoke and mirrors, Master Pierce?" "I am saying," the recorded Pierce replied, his tone dripping with practiced condescension, "that a camera does not hit back." Caleb shifted his weight, wincing as his knee popped. He looked up at the real Pierce, who was standing with his chest puffed out, absorbing the broadcast of his own arrogance like sunlight. The students around Caleb were nodding solemnly. They believed it. They had to believe it. If Pierce was wrong, then the thousands of hours they had spent punching the empty air, locking their hips into rigid, agonizing